Welcome to this Saturday Travel and History Tip. This will be the last one in the great state of Ohio. As this sign says, welcome Cincy. We drove down to Cincinnati, Ohio to go to our first stop that we'll be telling you about today, and that is Jungle Jim's. This was our third stop in the last 20 years, and this place is basically the same. It is a destination for sure when in the Cincinnati region. It's an experience. Check them out on Jungle Jim's International Market Podcast. A new episode every Wednesday. This is an international market and they bake all of their own breads and desserts. You'll want to grab 2 carts. Honeyed from around the world and local. Most of the sections are decorated and that's what makes this place more exciting. You can see the beehives and the little bees hovering above. Also, more Pez machines than you've ever seen before. This is quite the place. The English section is decorated with this scene from Sherwood Forest. Each area has some sort of depiction related to the native land. Items from Europe: ketchup, duck sauce, sesame, milk chocolate coins, matzo, puffed rice, more sodas than you could imagine, 2 rows worth. This is the big cheese. It weighs in at 762 pounds. They have a ginormous, is that a word? A ginormous delicatessen. Did you know our big cheese takes 3 months to make before it gets hard? It is aged in our cooler until it's matured and is ready to be taken down for your enjoyment. The seafood section is like no other. Have you ever seen and been able to pick out your own rainbow trout or live catfish? Your own lobster? And if you're interested in these guys, you have a nice selection of those too. The Asian sections are vast. How about some jackfruit or coconut meat or bamboo shoots? They have this fire engine leading to the hot sauce section. Rows and rows and aisles filled with hot sauce from all around. And pickled eggs. Pickled pig's feet. They have this mid-eastern section. And of course, a Mexican section filled with Goya products, although Goya is from Spain. How about some green lentils? More duck fat. Dijon mustard from France. The Indian section has lots of rice. There are bags and bags and bags and pounds of rice in this store. Quality you can trust. Mixed lentils. Items from Hong Kong. The packaging is one of the most exciting things to look at. More items from China, Nepal, and Eastern Europe. And you can't leave without grabbing a package of ground goat, ground yak, or ground kangaroo. Enough of that. Let's move on to Ohio's ice cream capital, Utica, Ohio, the home of velvet ice cream. Ice cream is no longer produced there at this location. They have this great mill and ice cream shop and museum that has all kinds of old equipment and the history of velvet ice cream and the history of ice cream. In the 1910s, in the basement of a downtown confectionery, production of velvet ice cream began. They celebrated 100 years of ice cream making in 2014. You'll want to spend some time reading the signs and about more of the history of this great American-owned family business. And I'll make a note, try to support American-owned family businesses whenever you have a choice. One family, one ice cream legacy. In the old world, Alexander the Great enjoyed snow and ice flavored with honey and nectar. Romans sent runners to the mountains to collect snow that was then flavored with fruits and juices. Some claim that 13th century Italian adventurer Marco Polo returned to Italy from the Far East with a recipe that resembled sherbet. Historians believe that the initial recipe evolved into ice cream sometime in the 16th century. They have to use the word evolved. Why? No, it turned into or it became what was used. Evolved, do not use that term. Ice cream spread to the masses in Europe in the 1660s. Francesco Procopio opened the first cafe in Paris serving iced creams and sherbets made from a blend of milk, cream, butter, and eggs. By the 1700s, modern frozen milks and custards, ice cream, were firmly established in Europe. Frozen desserts found their way to America not long after the masses in Europe, but was mostly enjoyed by the wealthy because there was a limited amount of ice available during the year. A guest of Maryland Governor William Bladen is the first official account of eating ice cream in America in 1744. It wasn't called ice cream until the colonists in America started eating ices. The first ice cream shop opened in New York City in 1776. President George Washington was a fan of ice cream. 2 pewter ice cream pots were found at Mount Vernon, and ice cream records from a merchant in New York indicated that he ran up a tab of $200 worth of the sweet treat in the summer of 1790. Today, that would be $5,575. Whoa, George! President Thomas Jefferson and James Madison were also fond of ice cream. Dolly Madison served strawberry ice cream at the White House for her husband's re-election. The early 1800s ushered in the invention of ice houses, which could store ice for an entire year. In 1843, Nancy Johnson, a New England housewife, invented the hand-cranked ice cream churn. The basic design, bucket that contains an inner canister, a dasher, and a hand crank, are still used today. The ice cream churn simplified the process, and she sold the patent for $200. Oh, Nancy, you blew it. Commercial ice cream making began in Baltimore, Maryland in 1851, beginning a whole new industry. How about the history of the ice cream scoop? And molded ice cream, a popular treat. They had a decorated Victorian soda fountain in the museum section. They had recently opened a candy store, where you could also purchase buckets and buckets of their velvet ice cream. Next stop, Anthony-Thomas Candy Shoppe, where if you have an extra $3,500, you can buy this 235-pound Buckeye. A Buckeye, for those of you who do not know, is the most famous thing in Ohio because of the Ohio State Buckeyes, and it is a chocolate with a plunge of peanut butter. We took the tour, and there are no photos on the tour. You pay a small fee, but then you can get most of that returned when you purchase something in the gift shop, and you will need to do that. What was interesting is that they were subcontracted by the Mars Company to make Christmas candies, and when we were there, we were watching a whole variety of Christmas chocolates being made. Theobroma cacao grows around the world in a band spreading 20 degrees north and south of the equator. Cacao trees produce flowers that become pods that grow on the trunk and branches. There is a mid-crop and main harvest. A stop in the candy shop after the wonderful tour will certainly delight chocolate lovers of all kinds. Almond dips, pecan bark, cherry cordials. I never met a chocolate I didn't like. It's all a part of American history. Learn it. Love it. Appreciate it. Don't let them steal our history. Teach children our American history. And next Saturday, Falling Water. You won't want to miss it. This place was incredible. Hope you watch the Saturday Travel and History Tips. And as a reminder, if you order all 3 of my books, you get one of them free or an additional one free and free shipping. Just give me a call, 603-616-8907. They're filled with all kinds of wonderful places in our country to learn more about our American history and geography. Thank you.